It is prognosticated that the jewelry industry will dramatically grow in the next years. According to Statista, by the year 2026, the value of the jewelry field will increase to $332.6 billion US.
Oh my God.
So the ones who say that this space, this field is saturated and you can't grow a jewelry brand, those are the ones who either cannot promote their business or do not have an irresistible offer.
Yeah.
And in this video, I am going to tackle how to market your jewelry brand using the social media ad platform. More particularly, we'll talk about Facebook and Instagram ads. Everything that I will be sharing in this video is based on experience and based on my history working with different jewelry labels worldwide: America, Europe, and Australia.
Impressive.
Everything that will be shared here is backed up with data and statistics. Now, when it comes to running Facebook ads, you could also run on Instagram because Facebook owns Instagram, and this is something that I actually recommend. Here there are two sections, right? We have the technical side and then we have a creative side. And first, let's start with the technical side. And for that, I need to hop on my laptop and I will be sharing with you everything that you have to do when you deploy your first campaign or your second or your third, depending on where you are. Once you go to your Facebook Ads Manager, first thing that we have to do is create our campaigns. And usually here a question that I get is how many campaigns, and that actually kind of depends, but in most cases I run only one single campaign. But in the cases we are running ads on other channels such as TikTok or Google, then in that case I have also one more campaign, which is retargeting, because in that case we now apply the omnipresent marketing strategy, which that's a different topic. So that would be essential to seem like we are everywhere, but that's a topic for another video. To create our campaign, let's click on this create button. And for the most jewelry brands, what I recommend is the sales objective, even if you have a new ad account, a new pixel account, because this is going to optimize just for targeting people who are most likely to convert. So we'll click sales, and then let's go next. Here we have two options: Advantage Plus, and we have a manual sales campaign. The Advantage Plus is more like a hands-off strategy where you don't need actually to do almost anything, just to upload some creatives. The manual sales campaign is more where you have a control. Advantage Plus, I will leave it for another video, but for now let's just go with a manual sales campaign. And if your business is not making at least, let's say, 50 to 100K per month, then the manual sales campaign would be a better choice, just because your pixel is not really optimized enough to use the Advantage Plus shopping campaign. So let's click continue. The campaign name, the ad set name, and the ad name, actually this doesn't really matter. This is just for you. You could use it as you want, just to not waste time. I'm gonna leave this by default, and all the other settings that you see here, if I don't touch them, they are just not that important and they don't make an impact onto your outcomes. Let's click next. Let's look here. So we have the conversion next section. So here what I usually like to use is website without the shop, just because, you know, we could here use some events that we want to optimize for. Here's the pixel, right? And then for the conversion event, the one that we want to optimize for, the one that we want to get as the ultimate goal, here usually I use purchase, and that's what I recommend. So the moment when we deploy any ads, these ads will be shown to people who are most likely to convert. If you use something like add to cart, right, they will be optimized for people who are most likely to add your product to the cart. So that's why I use purchase. Next thing is the daily budget. Here again, I have so many, many people have so many questions about what is the ideal budget.
How much?
This actually totally depends on your price points and who is your target market. Are they affluent buyers? Are they cheap buyers? You always have to consider this. If you are selling something more expensive, adding a budget, something like $50 per day, would take quite a long time until it spends enough just to assess the results and to take the next decisions. For this particular video, we'll put just $100, and let's go next. Here at the audience section, I want to leave it broad. Even if you have a brand new ad account, you want to season your ad account with broad audiences because they are the most scalable. They're gonna help you in the long run. They don't have actually that much a limit when it comes to a cap, when it comes to scaling your ad account. In the long term, it's much better to use broad audiences. The only thing that you have to ensure to add is the location where you want to target and where you can deliver and ship your products fast, rapidly.
How rapid?
And the age. The age, usually most of the time I use also the broad one, but if you actually have a particular audience that you know very well, very accurately, that they are the only one who buy, then you, in that case, you could put that age range. For replacements, I use the Advantage Plus, which is essentially equivalent with the automatic placements. That's it. If we go to the next level here, we have the ad level, where you essentially put your creatives, your visuals, your images, and your carousels, whatever format you are using. When we scroll down, we could use, of course, the format, the image. You could use images, carousels, and collections. And here you could add your primary text, the headline, and the description. And for the call to action, usually I use either learn more or shop now, depending on the price points. If it's something more expensive, I use learn more. Like here, you don't want to be very sales directed, very salesy, but if you're selling something with a low average order value, then in that case you could use something like shop now, just right here. So next thing is the destination, where you send people to the moment when they click on your ad. You hooked them with your ad and now they're interested in your product, and once they click that ad, your video, your image, you have to also consider where you send them to. This is another big part, another big chunk of whether your ad is going to convert or not. Your landing page, your sales page does make a heavy lifting, of course, on your conversions. So this is usually where I think about where I want to send people to. I show, this is kind of like a formula or a rule that I follow. If I show in my ad, let's say one piece of jewelry, then I will be sending those people to the product page, that I show in that ad. On the other hand, I show multiple products like 2, 3 and more, then in that case I will send them to a particular collection, usually the ones who sell the best sellers. Other than that, you also want to select your domain in case you use some URL parameters. If you are using some third-party software tools such as TripleL, which is something that I use, then I also add the UTM parameters, just we could have much better tracking. Once you pasted that, you'll click on the publish button. Now I want to share with you a couple rules, and I want to stay a little bit on this ad level because this has a huge impact onto your result. The first one's the campaign and the ad set. If you got these couple of ideas, broad audience, and using this sales objective, you are good to go. Here at that level, I want to stay a little bit more and explain how this works and a couple of rules that I follow. When I have this ad set, let's say a couple of ad sets depending on your budget. If let's say you have a budget of $200, $300 per day, then in that case I will have 3 ad sets, all with broad audiences, and each ad set I'm gonna have 3 ad creatives. So I'm gonna duplicate this one more time. I'm gonna have 3 ads, and if you're, let's say, brand new, you don't know anything about what's working, what doesn't, I'm gonna use 3 different formats. I'm gonna use a video, an image, and a carousel. The moment when you notice that, let's say that carousels perform well, when you figured that out, I would just stick to that format. Let's say videos are performing well, I would just run only videos. But of course, those videos doesn't need to be the same. You want to mix and match, and you want to have different hooks. You want to test different middle scenes, different B-rolls, different A-rolls, different models, because this is the only way to scale your ad.
This is the only way.
Through launching enough consistently new ad, you have to have a flow of new ad creatives. And if you want to scale your business to 50, 100K, 200K, you have to ensure that you launch, this is the bare minimum, at least 3 new ads per week. But if you want really, and if you're really committed to your jewelry store, then you want to launch 10 new ads per week on a consistent basis. Let's say hypothetically that you have 3 ads that are running and now they've spent some money and you have to make the next decision, like should I turn it off, should I scale it? So what you have to do, you want to look at your return on ad spend. If you're using a different tool, a tracking tool that helps you with that, then I would look more into those platforms, and also I would look at Facebook Ads Manager, look if it is true, if they are saying facts or if it's something wrong. But I would rely more on a different tool, on a software tool that actually helps you with tracking. When I see that the return on spend off of that ad, not off of the ad set, but off of that particular ad, because remember, in each ad set we have 3 ads, and you notice that the return on ad spend is lower than your break even. What is your break even? When you spend and you get something back, but you are not profitable at the moment. You're not losing money either, but you are also not getting profit. In the first just acquisition part, you might get some profit over an extended period of time with your lifetime value of your customer. That's a different topic. When you see something like that, you see that your return on ad spend is lower than your break even after 3-5 days. That's the moment when you could confidently go and turn that off.
Turn it off!
You want to launch another ad instead of that ad in the same ad set. You don't have to duplicate those ad sets. You don't have to duplicate campaigns, none of those. Kill that unprofitable ad and launch a new one. And you do that for as long as you find 3 winning ads in that ad set. You have this ad set with 3 winning ads, and now you start scaling and scaling farther and farther until you see that it stops kind of like getting you profit results. So that's the moment when you stop, and that's kind of is going to be your sweet spot with your budget. You got your point when you spend $300 or $500 per day on that ad set. That's the moment when you stop. And in the meantime, you go to other ad sets and you keep searching for new ad creatives that are going to get you profitable results. Maybe you'll ask, by how much should I increase the budget of an ad set when I see that the ads are profitable? And that actually depends. If you start with a budget of $20 per day, the rule that maybe you heard that you need to increase by 20% doesn't apply, because it's gonna take you quite some time. What I would do is, depending on where you are, I would increase the budget accordingly. If you spend less, I would increase the budget more than 20%. If you spend $20, I would increase to $30, $40, $50. The more you spend, let's say now you get your point, you spend $500, $1,000 per day. Now you could decrease the amount you increase by. If you spend $500, $1,000, you could increase the budget by 20, 15, 10%.
It's so simple.
Once we covered this main campaign where we test and we scale these ads, next one is retargeting. Assuming that you are running ads on our platforms, if you don't, then the retargeting campaign actually doesn't really apply to you. When you click here on the create button again, we'll click sales. And by the way, this retargeting campaign is quite simple to create. So we'll choose manual. On the campaign level, you don't need to change anything. We'll click next. Here, let's click a website. Right, we'll choose the conversion event, which is purchase. For the daily budget, I would spend at least, let's say, 10 to 20% on the retargeting campaign based on your overall budget on your market. So let's just keep it simple for now, $20. And here at the audience, here's something that we need to change. Here at the retargeting campaign, on Facebook, retargeting audiences are called custom audiences. So here you want to look for these particular audiences. All Instagram engagers in the last 365 days and all website visitors in the last 180 days. You want to go for the broadest range because you want to keep it broad and you want to have as many people as possible in your retargeting audience. You could let this ticked off and essentially we are good to go, and we can go to the next stage, which is the ad level. So here you'll choose your Instagram account, and then all you want to do is you want to add the primary text, the headline, the description. For the call to action, I use, as usual, shop now. Of course, you want to add the website URL where you send people to, but the most important thing is again the ad creative. And when it comes to the ad creative, the one that I noticed that works over and over, and it's an ad creative that it is the simplest one to create, and it will bring you results in the most cases over not even months but even years. I have some clients where we run this particular ad and I haven't done any changes in the last almost 1 year. Still gives us a 2.5x return on ad spend, and that is a dynamic carousel. To create a dynamic carousel, you want to select carousel, and then once you scroll down here at the ad creative section, you want to check this box. So fill carousel cards dynamically from a product set. You will of course choose your catalog, you'll choose your product set, afterwards add the primary text, add the link, and you're good to go.
Wow. Oh my God.
Now, for the ones who wanna delegate their Facebook or Instagram ads to someone who is specialized in the jewelry niche, I invite you to click on the button below and schedule a quick strategy with me. And I assure you that it's not a sales call, it's more a transformational meeting where you will see whether we could help you and impact your jewelry business or not. And it doesn't matter what kind of decision you'll make. I promise you that you'll walk away with clarity, strategy, and additional gifts from me to improve your offer, your sales, and your brand.